Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
The Bittersweet personal email device. Always on.
I love it. It goes off like every minute. No matter where I am or who I'm with, it vibrates the second I get an email. So I can stop what I'm doing and read an unimportant email from HR or one of the 80 spam messages I get each day. It really helps me stay focused.
If a childhood of watching MeTV and guzzling high fructose corn syrup didn't give you enough attention deficit disorder, all isn't lost. Never have a spare moment with a Bittersweet personal email device. Finally be really productive. Get drunk and send suggestive emails to a coworker. Motivate colleagues by sending cryptic, furious email rants in the middle of the night. Be everywhere and nowhere with instant email. The Bittersweet. Available soon at Badger Wireless locations.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Third Shift. It is episode 477. And I, of course, am one of your hosts, Mr. Eric. And today, as per usual, we have the inglorious bastard himself, Mr. Matt, here. And we're recording on a funky, funky day. And everything's weird and strange. And I don't like it, but we're doing it anyway. So before we get into some gaming stuff and maybe something else, Matt, hey, how's the last day and a half been?
You're not wrong, Eric. Just so you people know, I think I'll probably drop this maybe on Monday. I don't know, but we record the shows on Thursday. It drops Thursday night, Friday morning. We're recording this on Saturday because I have a show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, Friday doesn't count, but also Friday. Eric's unavailable Monday. So we have the weekend only to do the show. So it's been a great day and a half, Mr. Eric, because on Friday night, I got in a stream of Death Stranding 2, and I didn't know how close I was to the end, but I was real close to the end. And it felt good, like I said before, it felt good to finish it and say, okay, it's done. My streams of that are done. If I want to go do the platinum stuff, I can do that, on my off time, whenever I feel like a break from Hades 2 or whatever. And man, that ending was just delightful. It was wonderful. It was every weird and strange thing that you could possibly want. I can't say what I saw, but I saw amazing things. So if you want to see amazing things too, check out the VOD, check out, my YouTube channel. That ending stream was only like 3 hours something. So it wasn't like a 6-hour marathon like before, but man, what a great game. What a great time with it. And then that was going to be the only thing that I could talk about, except for today, as I was waiting for Mr. Eric for us to meet up a time here, and I went, what am I going to do? I was just sitting here all morning, just watching YouTube stuff and just kind of zoning out and glazing over because I woke up at 5:30 and couldn't get back to sleep, and I'm just like halfway between needing a nap and just needing to do something. And I went, okay, go on your Steam, because you're on your PC right now anyway. Go on Steam, and I have a category in my library. It's just called It Was Free. It's just free crap I've picked up here, there, and wherever. So I've had a game in my library forever called The Looker, which I've heard is a parody, but now I know is kind of a parody of and a love letter to The Witness, which you know and you played a lot of, which is all about puzzles and kind of going from A to B and all these little puzzles, and one puzzle will unlock another puzzle, which will unlock another thing. This is a very silly version of that, but at the same time, the puzzles in it are also really clever. So, I mean, some of them are. Some of them you can just like break because of the system that it takes. You basically, each puzzle, it's like a square, just like in The Witness. It has a word or just a letter that says start and one that says end. You just have to connect those two. So some of them, it's super easy. There's nothing in between. Sometimes it's a little maze. Sometimes it's not even in the puzzle, but you got to go around back of the puzzle and connect an S and an E. Sometimes I just did one that was like in a little arcade game that was kind of like the phone game Snake. So I've been doing a lot of that, a lot being like an hour and a half of it this morning. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of silly, kind of goofy, but the puzzles in it some of them are actually like legit. Not like I've been stumped on them for a while, but like, how does this work? How does that work? Oh, if I look down here, if I go over here, I will say the cannon thing, amazing. The bit with the cannons is amazing, and I love it. But I've been playing that today, and that's been a lot of fun. What about you, Eric? How's your day and a half been?
Well, by gosh golly, it's been pretty darn good. So I, of course, got some game time in, and I don't have work Fridays. So it was a wonderful day. I've got some stuff done in the morning, did this, did that, And then I just put in some Ghosts of Yote, and I was playing that for a little bit. And then, of course, got a text to go play Battlefield 6, played Battlefield 6 for a little bit, and then got back on Ghosts of Yote, played that some more. Later on, once again, got texted to play some Battlefield 6. And then after that, Matt, I was like, okay, now the evening's here. So I'm starting a game. All of a sudden, family gets back from the trick-or-treating event, go upstairs, do the candy stuff. I'm like, all right, cool beans. They've checked the candy. Everybody's happy. Let's go back downstairs and rock and roll. I came back downstairs. Matt was on streaming, and then I fell asleep in my chair. So yeah, that was that. The whole plan just died right on the vine. I sat down and I passed the hell out. And I knew it was going to happen because real life stuff, I've been waking up at 3:30 in the morning instead of my usual. So I knew my body was going to dump, and it did. And so I woke up with that bitter aggravation of, hey, but then I'm like, Eric, you played video games all day. You're fine. You got to play all day. Yeah, you missed your 3.5 nighttime hours, but oh well. Now I will say this. In Ghost of Yote had a moment of actual surprise. Usually I know what's going on in this game. I'm killing people, murdering everybody. There's no problem. There's this side quest, just out of the blue side quest, no big deal. Hey, go get my spices and stuff for me. Guy who was supposed to deliver them, I'm assuming he's dead and probably got attacked or something. Can you go get all my stuff back? Sure, I'll go try. Traverse. Come up upon this little wooded area, and there's a rock, and I see a bunch of a dead horse and a cart and some spice boxes and stuff around. I go, oh, there's this stuff. And, so I'm like, all right. So I just going on right on up, all of a sudden out of the snow, bunch of baddies come out, and it's an ambush. Now that part sort of expected. You're not going to get nothing for free in this game. So I start fighting, and all of a sudden, yeah, that's the sound the archers make. I'm like, what? There's no archer. Boom. Hits me. Okay, whatever. I'm starting to look now. I'm looking around for archers. I mean, it just starts happening over and over and over again. And I'm getting jacked by these arrows, man. Because if you don't know, arrows do heavy damage because you're supposed to dodge as soon as you hear that little, sound. But there were so many of them. Plus, I'm getting attacked by 9 people on the ground. So this is a battle. This is a big battle. And I'm going nuts, trying to switch weapons, do all this, getting jacked by these arrows. Couldn't figure out for 40 seconds. I'm just like, what is happening? And I look up, and for the first time in this game, they've got archers in these little hidden stands in the trees. And you can jump up, and then you can grapple hook the stand and rip them out of the tree. But of course, this is the first time in this particular game that they've used this or done this. So in a side quest, a randomized side quest, they finally used a mechanic that I hadn't seen thus far this whole game. And of course, almost got me killed. Didn't get me though. But I was impressed, and it felt good actually being surprised and having a harrowing time for, the first time in a while since fighting the dude I still can't beat. But it was nice. And of course, as I always say, I'm up in these snowy mountains, so the snow is looking really gorgeous. And then it's kind of cool because they got this cold mechanic that if the storm comes in, you start to take frost damage and you can't heal, and then eventually you'll die. So you got to find fires to stay warm at and or get the hell out of that environment. So cool mechanic added to an already tough little area to be in. So I had a nice time with that. And of course, Battlefield 6, not much else to say on it so far. A lot of fun getting in there with the family and just kicking butt, taking names. Always a lot of crazy moments, a lot of angry moments. You guys all know how first player shooters go. I will say I was a hero at one point yesterday. I healed this tank up for almost the entire round, just found this dude around, just healing him. And he's over here just shooting things, doing this. I was for sure I was going to rank the top 10 because, just pure heals. It didn't work. So if you're wondering, everybody, you still have to get objectives. If you don't get objectives, you're not going to be in the top 10 of a match, no matter what you do. Even if you get KDs, even if you're apparently nonstop healing a tank the entire time, especially since there's this mechanic where they can take the vehicle and take away 2 bars of its health, and you can't heal past it. You can't get them 2 bars back, period. It's something one of the other classes can do to a tank. But I'm sure they'll fix it someday. I can keep healing and getting points for healing, even though it's not healing the tank. So this happened multiple times throughout that round where I just literally healing and getting points for nothing because I can't heal past it. So, yeah, but it didn't work. But it was neat anyway. Felt good. I'm sure that guy was happy. Had a whole round staying alive in a tank, shooting stuff. It's a good time. And now we're here doing a show.
And you talking about being in top 10 and objectives and all that stuff. I will say, thinking back a couple weeks to my Call of Duty beta, Black Ops 7 beta times, they do still do a good job of that because, I had some really good rounds, but I wasn't great. But since I was always on the objective, like you're always supposed to be, I would always be top 2, top 3 of objective matches. Then we go team deathmatch, and you never see my little face in the showcase at the end there. But they still do a good job of that, so I appreciate that. Even though I was mostly trash, if I'm always there, and I'm always shooting, and I'm always defending, there we go. But you said it's showtime, and what is a show without releases of the week? But it's a very short turnaround time, so I'm just going to tell you that Europa Universalis 5 is coming out this week on the 4th of November, developed by Paradox Tinto, published by Paradox Interactive, for PC only, because how could you ever put a Europa Universalis game on a console? This is that Paradox Interactive game, and you could just say full stop right there, because all of those are super in-depth, super like menus and stats and all these other things, but Europa Universalis 5 is that whole big one where you basically simulate the entire world this time. And I think maybe it did last time, because the one review I got to watch about half of from IGN was bouncing back and forth between EU4 footage and EU5 footage. The review starts out and it shows like the world, the entire world map, and most of North and South America isn't colonized. Some of Asia is, some of Africa is, but I was just like, wow, they added all these continents. But now thinking back, I think that was all in EU4, but in that review they mentioned that each province or state or chunk of territory in EU4 was like a big one. So you could get like a big chunk of Africa or America or whatever. But in EU5, they've broken that down even further. They said in that review, each normal territory in EU4 is now 7 separate ones in EU5. And every single place can have its own religion, culture, politics, all that other stuff. So if you want to get into the weeds in some EU5, you can totally do that. I mean, all Paradox Interactive games, they let you get deep into systems and into that kind of stuff. I've always loved watching people play these games. Like there's a YouTuber, Quill18, who used to always play them. And so hearing him talk about, if I tweak this, it affects this. And then that territory can build this, which affects this place over here. But now you can go like so deep in this game. It's crazy. Just seeing the little breakdowns of the maps and the territories and the thises and the that's. It's kind of like, what's that space game? EVE Online?
EVE Online.
It's like way too much, but when you hear a great story of it, you're like, oh man, that's awesome. Where you took some tiny territory in Europe and over the literal simulated centuries, Luxembourg takes over Europe and then takes over Asia and has a war with, the Dutch in Africa or something. So cool. So I'm always not hyped for these games, but I love seeing these series continue. And here's the next one. It's the next biggest one. I can't wait to watch somebody's playthrough of it, on the side here. It's too much for me, but if it's not too much for you, go pick up EU5 and just have just the wildest time, the craziest time, the most in-depth time. Just good luck. Good luck. That's all I got to say.
I'll say good luck to this other one too, but apparently it doesn't even need it because Arc Raiders, folks, has hit the streets. Developed and published by Embark Studios, out on PlayStation, Xbox, and of course PC. This is a game that I was looking at a long, long time ago. It had a very trippy trailer that came out. The music was really vibing, sounding really nice, and I got very interested. And then it was saying it was going to be a multiplayer game. Then I kind of went, oh, okay, don't care. Fell out of interest of it. But then, just a while back, it did a big old beta test, open stress test, whatever you want to call it. And I got to watch a bunch of individual streamers gaming, folks playing it. And I went, this looks fun as hell. It is a third-person extraction game, multiplayer, just like I already said. You live underground. This is the future. Something bad's happened to the world. You scavengers, whatever, come up to the surface, and then for 30 minutes, you scrounge around as best you can, finding resources, weapons, etc., to take back into the extraction point and get back down to your livable area, which I forget the name of what it's called, Seraphis, or something like that. It doesn't really matter. But anywho's, that's the gist of it. Now, while you're on the surface, there's all these different robots that are not good. They're out there hunting you. You are no longer welcome on the surface. These robots don't want you there. And there's many different kinds of them. And some of them are easy to defeat. Some of them are hard to defeat. Some of them bring other robots to you. It's a whole thing. So you're scavenging. You're looking around. You can play with 4 people on your team. You can play solo. And if you play solo, it tries to match you with other solo players to try to create the most fair, game it can. Because, as I just said, you can go 1 to 4. You will be finding other players while you're scrounging around. And it's open mic. And, of course, it's proximity. And you never know what's going to happen. Because you never know what other players are going to do. Are they going to murder you? Are you going to help each other? Or do you see this giant robot that you can then team up temporarily, take it down, get the resources off of it, and move on about your life? Or do they murder you? Or do you murder them and take all the resources for yourself? This is where the game becomes extremely fun and crazy at the same time, because you never quite know what the hell is going to happen next. Now, the developers have come out and also said, hey, we understand now that some people just don't want to touch other players if at all possible. And I don't know how true this is, but they said that in the skill trees, because yes, everybody, there's a skill tree, and you got to send your little skill points and put them wherever you want them to become the badass that you want to be. You can skill yourself up to where you have all sorts of camouflage options, quiet options, etc. And you can play a whole match and just avoid human contact altogether, get your crap, and get back to the extraction point and get out of there. Now, they did say it's impossible all the time. There's no way, sometimes you're just going to end up screwed or finding a person. But they said with the skill sets they put in there, if you play that way, you can avoid humans altogether for the most part. So I thought that was pretty neat for the, super introvert who just can't handle real people at all ever. But part of this game and the fun of it is shooting these other people, taking their gear, ruining their day, and vice versa. That's the way it goes. Or even teaming up. What's better than all of a sudden random group, hey, I'm not going to shoot. And then you team up on one of the bigger robots, clankers, and boom, take them out, split loot, and just say, all right, boys, here's the truce. Walk away. I'll leave you, you leave me, and you part ways. And you just had an interaction with 2, 3 random people. What a time. This game has got me wanting to play it so damn bad. And if we weren't already playing Borderlands 4 and probably going to be stuck playing this for like a year and a half because we're so slow, I would totally be going, Matt, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Be my buddy. Come on. Be my partner. We're going to go team up on these robots. But alas, we already have a game we're playing, so who knows if it'll ever be a thing. But I do enjoy watching it right now. It looks really damn good. I suggest everybody go take a look at least.
Yeah, I saw somebody's review of it. I read about half of it, and I went, you got to stop. You got to stop because you're going to want to play this, and we can't play it because we're already playing the game and we're already not making progress, but it sounds good. Except I just want that skill tree to avoid people. I want that in real life too, though. Well, Matt's just camouflaged and invisible. We can't stop at his desk and lean over and ask a stupid question today. We can't do it. He's just gone. He's woof, woof.
He's just not there anymore.
He came in and he extracted his money for his service at work today, and he extracted. He got out of there. That's how it should be.
Safe underground again.
That's right. Yeah, just have a little manhole in my cube. Just I'm at work. I'm gone. That's how it is. Yes. I don't think we were going to talk about the free games of this week, but while Eric was talking, I looked up the ones that are available for you guys at the time. After the time you'll hear this, look, I don't know. On Epic, you got Felix the Reaper, and you got a bundle of resources for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And then on Game Pass, I don't know what any of these games are except for one. I know what one is, but you got Football Manager 26 if you want to do some soccer. You got Dead Static Drive, Egging On, Whiskerwood, and you got the one that I know because I played it and I beat it and I thought it was really good. 1000X Resist is finally coming to consoles. So you can finally play that weird-ass PC game that's strange and weird and doesn't look like it's going to hold together, but then surprises you with crazy camera angles and crazy story stuff. That's a great game. People have been talking about it for a while. They talked about it last year, and I finally got a chance to play it this year. It's good. Check it out.
And of course, with all that, I can't give you Amazon's because Amazon doesn't have it up yet. It's not available. You know how it goes. They're always very last minute with the games they're going to be having. But I think PlayStation's got theirs up, and that's going to be available sometime this week. And I know one was Stray right off the bat because I was disappointed because I've already beaten and rocked through Stray. So for me, I didn't get to have a crazy cool, oh, great, type of game. And the other two were I'm pulling it up now. EA Sports WRC 24 and Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. So you get another awesome simulator game if that's what you want. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. I'm very sure that this game is actually a joke on itself. It's not very accurate and instead ridiculous and goofy. However, these are the games that you get this month. In my opinion, not a strong showing, but that's okay. Every month can't be a hit, can't be a winner. And last month's was pretty damn good, so there you go.
Yep, very true. I know WRC is the World Rally Championship, so if you want to drive some cars in some dirt and do some power slides and have a guy in your ear going, 90-degree turn left coming up, that's the game for you. I don't think I have any topics to talk about. I know you got a couple things, though, Eric.
I do got a couple quickies, and one of them, via Push Square, Expedition 33, and, of course, Final Fantasy artists have come together to show a little love and respect to one another, and they both drew their interpretation of each other's, two main characters in the game.
Nice.
And then put it together in like a cool little card, and it looks gorgeous. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's great to see that Sandfall and Square, kind of holding hands and just being pals, and knowing that they're going into this year's end of the season, going up against each other and competing and whatnot for coolest games, best games. But is that true? No, it ain't true, because Square didn't have a game this year.
Yeah.
So it's all about Sandfall. Sandfall gets the win. Expedition 33. That's good. And I don't have to be sad about one of them not getting it. That makes me feel better. So they're just doing it out of love and respect. I appreciate that.
What you have to be sad about is Expedition 33 not winning RPG of the year because something that's not an RPG would slide in. Oh my God,
if that happens, I will have a stroke.
But I can't believe that would happen because I can't think of, there wasn't an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls that slips in there.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who plays RPGs loved Expedition 33 so much. So I only said that. I can't
see it happen.
Because it's happened before, but it's not going to happen this time.
It has.
Yeah.
It has happened before, but I don't think it'll happen this year. I think we're going to be all right. And then, of course, a little bit via Push Square that I saw this morning was that Bloober Team. Yes, Bloober Team, Chrono, Silent Hill 2 remake, and they're also working on another game. Well, it's Silent Hill 1, you already know. They are now publishing. We've briefly said that they were talking about doing it a while back, and now they are actually doing it. And come January 29th, 2026, they will have released their first published game, and it's called I Hate This Place. And, of course, it was developed by Rock Square Thunder. This is their first title. And it is of course, survival horror type game. The animation is what got me interested. I love the animation of this game. It's top down. It's got all the cool, hand-drawn cartoon type vibes going, but in a demonic Cthulhu crazy world. Bad stuff is happening to this gal. She doesn't want no part of it and wants to get out of there, but these demonic creatures, etc., are not letting her. I don't really know much about what this game is. The only downside I gotta state was I heard the word crafting, and I went, that makes me not want to play. So I don't know how in depth it is with the crafting part of it, because it was just a quick trailer to pique your interest and see lots of cool baddies, which you did see lots of cool baddies. These creatures that they're drawing up look pretty damn good. So I will be looking out for this game, trying to pay attention to it. If it doesn't get too big into the crafting, maybe I will be able to dabble in it. But good on you, Bloober Team. I wish you and, of course, Rock Square Thunder success. Unlike that other game that got, published by a big studio. It was the first one they did, and then ended up being really bad game. But Matt played it and said it was a good game.
It was a good game. Yeah,
people are crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, people are crazy.
We don't want that to happen with this one.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, good stuff for Bloober Team and Rock Square Thunder.
Yeah, just like you said, I did check it out because I saw it was in the show notes. I was expecting to see, a person in an office environment with a big roll printer and some inserters and stuff, and that kind of I Hate This Place, but it wasn't. But I did like that dark comic books kind of style, kind of almost Darkest Dungeon style, that rough outlines and all that other stuff. Looks cool. Like you said, I'm not a crafting person, but we'll see. It looks good. Good luck to everybody. And good luck to the mailman getting to my door. Because actually, I was going to say because the steps are missing a thing and he could step on a nail, but no, it's been fixed because of the thing that's going on. So he got to my door and he pushed the little doorbell that doesn't exist on my apartment. He said, bing bong, because we got a mailbag. And he said, dude, I've been coming to your house every week trying to give you this mailbag. And you keep saying, bring it back later when we need our bacon saved. And today was the day. He said, do you need your bacon saved? And we said yes, because it's a wackily, weirdly early record for a show. And he said, here's the old envelope from your buddy Gnomable in the Discord, who asks, what are your favorite hidden gem and cult classic video games? And I have 15,000 that I chose. And I don't know how we want to break this down. Eric's got some, I got some. What do we want to do, Eric?
Okay, so when he says 15,000, he's got 15,000 and I have one. So how we break this down is crazy because it's just going to be me listing my one, and then we'll just listen to Matt. Matt's going to have all sorts of gems for you.
Well, hang on. We've established that one of ours is the same. Do you want me to give brief rundowns of some of these, and then when we hit it, we talk about it?
Yeah, we could do that. It's fine. But I just want to express to you, Gnomable, what I expressed to Matt. You have to understand my excuse here. Okay? I only play the AAA games. I only play what's hot. And I have done that for a long time. It isn't since I was a kid that I just played, whatever I could get at the library, whatever random game I could find. Since I've been an adult, for the most part, I just play all the bangers in AAA games, just like every schmuckatelli out there. So I don't have this huge bag of back-end games that nobody has played and should have played because it received high, critical scores or was just a damn good game in my eyes. That sort of scenario happening. There's a lot of damn good games, but they most of the time got their props, got their accolades. So that's my excuse, and I'm gonna stick to that one.
So I was frowning and I was wagging my finger, but then you did throw in the caveat of saying, well, since you're an adult, because I was going to say, oh man, well, I guess you don't want to talk about Chikan anymore. You never want to talk about that one again. Okay. So what I did was, I don't know why I wanted to go so in depth on it, but since this came in, I was thinking, well, I could go like all the way back and give you one from like every generation. So that's what I did. That's what I wrote down. I'll just give you a little quick hits on it, just because if I talk about this, we'll be here for an hour and Eric will just be making a frowny face at me.
I'm making a frowny. I want to bust in here. I'm making a frowny face for a very particular reason. And it's been this way for about 7 minutes now. And this is busted open real life, folks. All right. We were talking about the spooks, and I hate this place. There is this albino spider on my monitor underneath my camera. And it crawled from around the back end of it to the front end. So it's been sitting there staring at me dead center, like whoop, right there. Big bulbous albino spider. And it's the one that has like the claws that look like crab legs.
Uh-huh.
And it's not moving. It's just sitting there staring at me. And I know some spiders can jump. And I'm sitting here going, is this one of those spiders? Am I going to... Oh, you see, he moved a little bit. He knows. He opened up his little claws. I don't like this at all. I don't like it. That's why I'm frowning. It's because I have this strange, bulbous, nasty spider sitting there.
Give him a little...
And if I don't stare at him, he's going to do something to me. I know he is. I'm watching him like a hog.
Blow at him.
But yes.
That'll make him either fall down or go...
That's going to make him mad.
Okay,
And I got the headphones on. I'm not prepared for quick movement.
Okay.
And if I hit him, I'm going to blast the camera, off and ruin everything. So we got an emergency in real life happening on the show. Just letting you know. This bad news bears.
Now, I will say that is bad news bears. And I don't like that for you, but I feel a little better because you were always looking up. And I was like, Eric never looks up. Like it looked like you were way up. Like someone was looking over your monitor at you, like tapping her watch and going...
Tapping the time thing or something. Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad it's a bug and not a human. So I'll just say, I went all the way back to the very first video game console I ever had, Atari 2600. Everybody knows some of the big games on there. But I'm going to tell you, Keystone Capers was one of my favorites as a kid. This is a game where you're Keystone cops, and you're in a mall, like a 4-story mall, and there's a little criminal running around. He starts on the second floor, you start on the bottom floor. And your job is just to go catch him. And all throughout this mall, there's like bouncing balls, there's shopping carts, there's little RC planes that are flying around. It's pure arcade style. Just run and grab this man, and if you grab him, then the next level, there's more stuff. The balls are bouncing faster, the shopping carts go super goddamn fast. Now there's 2 fast shopping carts as you get all the way through it. It was just a blast. There's like no sound to it other than the sound of you going as you're running around, but it was just so addictive. I don't think I ever finished it, but it's an Atari game. There's probably not an ending, but I played that so much back in the day. Great times. On the NES, I've talked about this on a Shifter Monthly topic before. Rampart, the game where you choose a castle, build your walls, fill it with cannons, shoot the enemies. There was a single player mode, but I don't ever remember playing that. I remember playing 2-player this with my mom which again, you've heard me talk about that with like 3 games total, and this is one of them. It was a rare event when we would play games together. So we would always 2-player this. Tons of fun. I mean, you go against each other. So I think there was a point where I realized the cheese solution was to knock out every other piece of the wall, because then you have to fill it in with Tetris pieces afterwards. And I can't remember if she figured that out or I figured that out, and we decided we're going to go easy on each other and not do that strategy because it makes it hard and rude and mean. So that's a great game. Again, I've talked about that one before. Another game I've talked about before, but I haven't really talked about it, is Uniracers on the Super Nintendo. A flippin' classic. I think I rented it once and then had to buy it. You play as unicycles and you go through a Mario Kart style progression. You got all these different cups, always one-on-one with another unicycle. And you have 3 different race types, I guess. One is, it's usually like a half pipe. You're doing stunts all by yourself, get up to a certain score. Some races, it's once through, that's it. You don't get any new laps. You don't get any new anything. Others, it's traditional. 3 laps is the winner, 5 laps is the winner. But what's great about it is it's so fast. Like, I watched somebody's long play of it just a couple hours ago when I was doing my YouTube thing, kind of zoning out. And I forgot how fast this game is and how good the music is. But I remember just playing through this. I love this game. I went and bought a copy of it just like a year or 2 ago just to have it because it's just so much fun. And it's that game where you do flips and tricks and spins. And if you land your trick, it gives you a boost of speed, just like a Mario Kart power slide. So I remember so many times, either me versus my buddy or me versus the CPU, blasting fast as hell down these tracks and just hearing the other player doing stunts, because you hear like a bloop, 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 bloop when they get a successful stunt, and then knowing they're coming up on me. I got to be doing stunts too. And then you're panicking and flipping and you don't land your stunt and you're like, oh my God, here he comes. He's actually coming onto the screen with me. No. Down to the wire, last second checkered flag wins. Amazing game. Fantastical game.
That title I as well love. I hold my heart because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, but my dad was hunting friends with this guy, and so he would go to his house to occasionally, do some archery shooting and whatnot. I went with him once and was bored as all hell. Well, comes to find out, he had a son, and I went into the house, and this kid had a Super Nintendo. And sure enough, what do you do when you're a kid? You say, oh, I want to play a game. And he had Uniracer. And we played Uniracer, and it was glorious. It was such a good time. I fell in love with it instantly. But I couldn't get it because I had a Sega, not a Super Nintendo. Then I went home, and then for like weeks after that, I'd be like, Dad, I want to go with you to, I think, was it Henry? I don't remember the guy's name anymore. Whatever. This is my dad's hunting friends. I want to go with you. Why do you want to go? I just want to go. Just take me. And so I did this for like weeks before I kind of, as a kid does, woohoo, star shining, and then fell off. But it was a magical 3-4 week period of just playing Uniracer with this kid. I don't even remember his name was because I didn't care. It was just the Uniracer I wanted to play. Wasn't going to be friends with this guy, so it didn't matter. But it was a good time playing on the floor in this kid's weirdly empty room. Now that I get this visual now, he had a bed, but it was just on the floor. He didn't actually have like an actual bed. He just had a mattress laying in the corner with like 2 blankets. He had a couple like scraggly posters with clips in. Kind of a sad scenario now that I really look back on it. But sad room, but whatever. Didn't matter.
So he was the epitome of guys live like this and think it's all right. That meme, but he was a kid.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you'd have thought his parents would probably give him a proper room, but I guess not. So whatever.
I was going to say, even when we were living lean times, I always had the nice room, and Mom did not have the nicer room. You think he would get the most, and whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Hopefully he's doing well.
Yeah.
Had fun playing Uniracer. What a good game.
What a great game. Just like on the N64, this is one I didn't play much, but I rented at least a few times, and I love the style of it. Mischief Makers. I think I've talked about it before. It's 2D platforming, but it's like in a 3D claymation style almost. And your one thing you can do is grab things and shake them. So even the boss fights are like that. Like a boss will shoot a bunch of missiles at you. You grab his missile, you shake it up, and it like empowers it and makes it 12 times bigger. You throw it at him. I specifically remember it's like somewhere between a quarter and a halfway through the game, you enter like an Olympics contest against all the enemies, and you're doing like beach volleyball and like races and hurdles and things using the Mischief Makers mechanics. I want to play that again. I want to own that. PS1 era, Front Mission 3. Doesn't seem like a hidden gem to you, Eric, or me, because James played it and I played it all the time. But tactical RPG with mechs. Build out your mechs, replace all your parts, all your weapons, do all the things. Units on a map. Amazing. PS2 era, Namco Cross Capcom. This is the most hidden gem because it didn't even come out over here. This is a tactical RPG with Namco characters and Capcom characters, and sometimes smashed together. So you got units like Cosmos from Xenosaga, Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, even to the most obscure titles in either of those categories. Basically, there's like demons or something that have come to try and take over the world, and these two realms have been crossed together to try and fix it. But what's cool about it is not just units on the map. When you get into battle, you do like almost Street Fighter-ish moves. It's very simple. Like you press up an attack and down an attack and left an attack. But it's each one of those attacks is unique. And so you're like juggling the enemies up in the air with all these cool attacks and abilities and knowing which ones juggle and combo with this and that and the other thing. So much fun. I played it 100% in Japanese. I think I made it like 90% of the way through it. I've never beaten it. I know there's a DS version also, but that one's just the most hidden gem because you can't get it. I think there is an English patch out now if you want to ROM it, but that was a fantastic game, a phenomenal game. I mentioned the DS, Air Traffic Chaos. You're an air traffic controller at this cutesy airport. I've talked about that before. Definitely just check it out. It doesn't sound exciting, but it definitely is. When you have a plane coming on an intercept course, but you need a pushback for this guy, and you're trying to work out the timing and getting it all crazy, amazing. Xbox 360 era, it's Catherine. Eric, talk about Catherine for the people.
So you knew Catherine was going to be on there. Gnomable, you knew it. We talk about this title all the time. And the reason why I was going to bring it up again is because I feel like this one's a definitive miss. Like, this game took puzzles and made them extremely fun, extremely frenetic and crazy and quick, but also gave you an actually amazing story to boot. A lot of puzzle games exist to this day, a lot of great ones. Blueprints is a recent one. But the story is very casual, calm, cool. It's a backdrop to the puzzles. Whereas Catherine, the puzzles, they were a backdrop to the story, but they were integral to the story. And so both were like just in your face, crazy, awesome fun. And as you're traversing each of the puzzles, you're getting another piece of the story in a sense because the bad guys would represent that particular night's terrors and or fear. And you'd always end up talking to the little man, and he would tell you little snippets about what he's up to or what you're going to be up to. So you were getting the real life stuff even in the puzzle portion, but getting to that next area where you could go to the bar and interact with everybody and of course have your interactions with Catherine. Fantastic. Just beautiful storytelling. And you just don't see it. You don't see it anymore. You never saw it again. You just don't see that kind of, I don't know why it didn't take off. And it doesn't have to be the blocks. I'm just talking about a puzzle game that gives you such an engaging story, as well as great puzzles that you're just linked and hooked from day one to this thing. Nowadays, like I said, it's more puzzle heavy with a side focus on a story. And while fun, I played Blueprints quite a bit. Didn't beat it, but it was fun. It was just cool. But it was a puzzle game. I didn't really care about the characters or story. It was just about seeing if I could figure out the rooms and get as far as possible. If y'all know Blueprints. So yeah, I just wanted to harp on it one more time because it's one of those gems that I wish would have picked up steam and created this new genre of puzzle game that could have been going on to this very day.
And I think you make a really good point about, I was going to say, why I didn't catch on is because the puzzle was too hard. Well, the puzzle doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to be integrated with the story. I feel like you're right, and that most games are either all puzzle, a little bit of story, or all story, and then in between, you gotta like do a sliding puzzle.
Look at this key.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, slide the block over and insert the key. And it's like, that's a puzzle for middle schoolers, but okay. I mean, cool. Yeah, unfortunate, man. I wish we'd get a second go at it. Maybe now's the time because people are hooking on to puzzle games a lot more. Maybe they'd be more open or receptive to this type of puzzle game.
But yeah, Catherine is 100% a hidden gem, a classic. Going on a 3DS era, Project Cross Zone is Namco Cross Capcom, but also Cross Sega. That's a handheld version of all that. All the same type of deal. Play through that one all the way through, 100% beat it. There's Project Cross Zone 2, which I think adds Nintendo characters, but I still have never played that one. On the 3DS, Pushmo, I've talked about it before. That's like Catherine, but in a cutesy way. It's just all about the puzzles. but you're moving stuff in like giant chunks. You're pulling out whole sections of the wall, and then you can get on the sides and push them back in because it's not just a block. It's a whole like 3-layer wide section. So a different spin on it, and definitely no story there, but a great game. Talking about story, Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology. This game is expensive as hell, but it's amazing also because it's a turn-based RPG, but it's strategic in the combat. But what's cool about it is there are 2 separate timelines. So when you hit a block in the first timeline, you need to go into the second one where things are crazy different. Characters are completely different, or characters are dead in this timeline. And so you're trying to go through the first one to try and figure out a way to get them back in the second one. But you need to progress when they're dead in the second one to get the information you need in the first one to get. It's wild. It's crazy. I can't believe I never finished that one, but amazing. PS4 era, little indie game I've talked about before, Little Red Lie. It goes to some crazy dark places. This looks like an RPG Maker game. It looks small and simple. Crazy themes, crazy dark stuff. There's a twist I won't ruin, but I have always been blown away by that. Great game. Another PS4 era game that I know Eric's going to talk about. I know it had to have been on his list. Talk about 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, Eric. Come on now.
Oh, man, is that a gem?
That's a hidden gem. Come on.
Is it a hidden gem?
Who played that game other than you and me, and maybe a little bit of James?
I guess you're true. It's true. I just try to. It is a hidden gem. It really is, but it's a very specific hidden gem because this game is not going to be loved by everybody. It's a very particular type of game. The storytelling is very heavy. The way you go about it is a choose your own adventure. So you see all the characters, and then you can choose to interact with that character's day. And you access all these cool little hidden moments and parts that start to put the whole of this puzzle of what the hell's going on in this area and timeline all together. And you can do it any way you want for the most part. There are some caveats. Some people are locked out for certain things. But you can go through all of one person's story. And let me tell you, if you do it that route, things start making almost no sense because you start getting huge chunks that are ahead of and behind. And you know, if you play this game, you know what I'm talking about. Ahead and behind of time. And you're like, what is going on? So for me, after a little bit, I found it better to start to kind of do 1 or 2 of each and then just keep the story going that way. And in that storytelling, you can also back out and go to the battle portion of the story. And once again, if you just do this all at once, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't really need to because it's very small snippets, the battle portions are anyway, until later on. Then it starts to get pretty deep into what's going on. But I like how you can choose your own adventure here. And I love that the battle system, you go into this grid-based area and you are in these mechs and your characters are in these mechs and you don't even know why they're in these mechs or what's going on. And that stuff doesn't get revealed to you till way later on in the game. But it's so freaking cool. The story beat and the way everything goes down is so awesome. The character interactions, the character models, their personalities. This game is AAA for sure. And of course, unfortunately, due to its very specific nature of what it is, I think that's why it's going to stay a hidden gem forever, just because that's a niche genre. And in fact, it's like 2 niche genres put together. You know, you got your grid-based combat, and then you got this weird storytelling, like not a walking story or whatever, but you pretty much are just walking around talking to people and until you find that one person or one object you needed to interact with for that particular set. And then it goes, here's your revelation, blah, 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 and then off you go to the next one. But fantastic. One of my favorite games of all time. Definitely an awesome game.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. The thing I always go back to is there's a scene in the bathroom, and you're introduced to the aftermath of it first, or at least I was when I saw it.
I was too.
I went, what the flip happened in here? And then the next scene of that bathroom scene, you were a character who was hiding in there. So like you go in there to do something else. She's talking to somebody in secret in one of the stalls all closed in. And then she hears what's happening in there. So, but she doesn't even know what is going on. So it's like double whammy of like, what the flip is going on in this room? And it's not till way later that you get to actually see the intro and see how it progressed and what is going on.
How it all did it.
Yeah, God, what a phenomenal game. I will say the story bits, I love the way it progresses because you think you know, and then another story bit will make you think you don't know. It turns it all on its head. But then another one turns that on its head too, and then the ultimate answer comes along later. It's phenomenal. Another series, the Nonary game series, so 999, Virtue's Last Reward, and Zero Time Dilemma, they do that to the nth degree. And it's very escape room, puzzle room. So the puzzles aren't really themed to the story. It's sort of Catherine-y, but not really. But that story, and it's got so many branching narrative paths. So like you'll get to one ending and go, whoa, what's going on here? And then you take that knowledge with you to the next one. You're like, all right, well, based on that, I think this is happening. Then you get to the next ending, and that's not what's happening. So you're like, but now I know that's what's happening. And you get to another one, and now something completely different is happening. It's flipping crazy. Those games are amazing. And then the Danganronpa series. I'll just say every single one of those, I think they're fairly popular by now because, they're re-releasing them and remastering some. Those games are amazing. If you say Danganronpa to a man on the street, he's going to have no idea what you're talking about. So that's a cult gem. That's a hidden gem. I'm just going to run through the titles. On PC, Frog Fractions, The Yogg, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, Thomas Was Alone, Jack Move, 2064 Read-Only Memories, Marvel's Midnight Suns, that's a big one, but that's a hidden gem. There's so many more. There's so many awesome games out there. Add all of that stuff to your wish list. Emulators, ROMs, Steam wish lists. That'll keep you happy for days and weeks and months and years. Amazing games.
So I'll just add here, okay, the Nier Automata.
There you go, yeah.
That's another one. It is popular, but it's popular amongst the people who know. So that's one of those ones where I will say it you can go into Hot Topic and get some Nier stuff. So it kind of is popular, but I don't think a billion people have played it, and I think a billion people should have played this series. So I won't talk too much on that one, but you know the deal. Get in there and check either one of them out. Now, and I'll be brief on this one because Matt's going to get mad, but it's going to be here. Breath of Fire.
Get out of here. Fuck you. I hate you.
This RPG, it's insane to me that Capcom didn't pursue it. I understand it had a bad one, Dragon Quarter or whatever it was, and then it started to fall off because they tried to do like the MMO and then the stupid mobile. But that's them going in a bad direction with the series. At the heart of it, 1, 2, 3, and 4, they had something going. Your main character, of course, was a dragon that's reborn every so many years and can kind of bring about destruction and or the great, saving of all the people. It can go either way. It can swing both ways. So you got people who want to kill the dragon just to avert any kind of possibility of bad news. You got people who want to help the dragon because they're in a crisis or something's going on, and the dragon can also be a good force for good. And you are oblivious to all this. You are just Ryu, an empty soul. You're just born, and you choose the way you go. And the different stories tell, obviously different ways that Ryu either went good or bad, or a version of Ryu, if you're looking at part 4. I just thought that was awesome. And because he is a reoccurring character that's reborn over and over again, they were able to put it in time, play with time. So like Momo comes from the future to manipulate things because if it goes a certain way, then her future is saved and or destroyed. So bringing in this whole time factor, bringing in the fact that this hero can go either way. They didn't explore it too much except from 4, but they could have expanded upon that if they'd have done Breath of Fires that were actually great and cool and had a really good director. So, I don't know. For me, this is a hidden gem in itself because it also wasn't the biggest of big RPGs even at the time. But this is a what could have been gem. This is an RPG series that could be as big as Dragon Quest, as big as Final Fantasy, if they just went in the right direction with it. Because they had so many things going for them. The battle system and how you had to manipulate and control when to use your dragon abilities because you only have so much of it. And then, of course, but you also have to use them to power them up. And then you can power up the different ones you like. They had behemoths, Kaisers, etc. And on top of it all, they had fairies, villages that you could then have them harvest and do things. And you grew them and they went out and got stuff for you. So you had this whole side game inside of the game, which a lot of games do that. But they did it too. They had it all. They had it all. And they had characters that you loved. Remember, Nina and Ryu. Who doesn't know those two characters that's in, an RPG lover and enthusiast? You know who they are. And Gar, God bless, man, come on. Bring the series back.
What about Blue? Blue, the Snake Lady Sorceress from the first 2 games.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't feel like a hidden gem because I played all of them except for 3. I never got a chance to play 3, and my buddy did too. So it was like, oh, we're getting Final Fantasy, and then when Breath of Fire comes out, we're getting that. We're getting Breath of Fire 2. But what I appreciate is it's kind of like the Final Fantasy or probably Dragon Quest progressions, where the first one, it was pretty basic. Like you could transform as the dragon, you had different forms, but everyone else was just kind of there. And then in 2, now you can fuse into different forms, but you can also fuse with other characters. Other characters can fuse with each other. And that's the one where they first did the town mechanic. You go around and find NPCs to have your town almost like Suikoden style way before that even happened. I know in 3 they expanded that a lot more too. 4 it just continued and continued. And that art style in 4, man. I see some screenshots of them or just the character portraits. I'm just like, yeah, man. I want to play that again. I want to play that on stream. I think it's on GOG. I could even do it right now if I wanted to. But a fantastic series that just progressed and got better as it went along until it didn't. And then died. Yeah.
Then died. And it shouldn't have died. It should have stayed strong and then risen to the ranks to where it was an unstoppable force like the RPGs of now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm shouting that one out. Now, the last actual real only hidden gem I have that really touches on all of this is a game called Rystar. It was for the Sega Genesis. It came out in 1995, I think. Actually, I got 2, but Rystar's the main one. It came out, 1995 Sega Genesis. Now, this was developed and published by Sega, the Sonic team in particular. So it has the stuff. This was the big dogs making this game, but it came out at the death of the Sega. Everybody's moved on to Saturn or whatever the hell they moved on to, but Sega was gone. I picked this game up that year when it came out and loved the hell out of this game. You are Rystar. You're this little dude. He's a star. He's got long legs, long arms. And you traverse these beautiful, colorful environments. And like I said, think Sonic. It's just as colorful, just as vibrant as that with the bumpy, hip, kind of cool music. And the whole mechanic is that you can stretch your arms and legs. So you have to use that mechanic to grab onto things, launch yourself forward through the levels, or bring things to you. And then, of course, with enemies, you headbutt them. So you're going to grab them. Then you fly over to them and headbutt them. But then you immediately sometimes have to bounce off them and grab onto something else to bounce off that and traverse and just keep going and going. Very quick, very fast paced, very colorful, fun music. I had a blast with this game. This is one of those games I sat and played just over and over. I beat it, time and time and time again because it was just so much fun and the different ways you could just get around the level when you were really good at stuff. And then the levers you're pulling and then how you could launch yourself up into these like bonus levels. But you had to make sure you hit it just right and did the perfect star where you'd all of a sudden spin real fast and turn into a star and fly off. And just a lot of great memories with this game. But I've never met a single person in my life who's played it. So I'm like the only one, apparently, who's ever known about this game. And it's sad. I think it could have caught on if it had come out like a couple years before when people were itching to keep playing games on the Sega Genesis. But it didn't. Now it's gone. Never got a sequel, never got anything. It was just an end of the Sega's life, and they moved on with, obviously, Sonic, and now we're here, and it's sad for me.
Now, while you were talking, I thought of even more. I'll just shout them out. I won't go into depth, but on the DS, I was just thinking about the Ostatakai Oendan series. It kind of came over to the West as Elite Beat Agents, where they put in a bunch of, 70s pop songs. But if you want some J-pop and some Japanese Oendan cheerleader action with wacky, goofy stories and just tapping that DS screen to the beat and sliding and tapping and spinning the thing. What a great game series. 2 of them, amazing. And then Hotel Dusk, Room 215. This is a game, I don't know anybody else who's played this. It is definitely a cult classic because I know, the online community appreciates it, but I feel like even that is very, very small. Visual novel style, puzzle style. You hold your DS like a book. There's one puzzle in there that I'll never forget where you have to do something specifically with the physical DS. And I remember sitting there going, oh my God, I have to do X to do this. And I did it, and I was rewarded for it, and it was just amazing. So we could go on forever. There's too many. There's too much.
Good. And the last one I'll mention, and I don't even know if this one qualifies this, but I don't care. It's a game on N64. I went to my local library one day, and there was no games available. Everything was gone. I was a sad banana. There was one game. There's a game I'd seen there several times, and just was like, nah, I'm never going to play this weird title. Mystical Ninja, starring Goemon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, picked this game up. I went home, popped it in. Next thing you know, I'm playing this game, top, bottom, going all the way through it. It is your N64 game. It's clunky as hell. It's got the weird, faded, washed out colors. It's got strange puzzles that you can't really figure out because the geometry of the land is so goofy and crazy. But nonetheless, it was so much fun. And it was so big and vibrant and open. I felt like I could explore in this game. And whilst the puzzles were kind of, like I said, hard at sometimes, if you just walked around, figured it out. You get there, and you kept getting there. And then, of course, you got to play as other characters and use their skill sets to go further and further. I just remember this being a title that I would have never played. I didn't think anybody had played, and thought it was probably just some garbage game. And I got in there, fell in love with it, and played it all the way through to the very end and beat it. And went, well, that was a very strange experience, because at this age, I'd already started I only play the games that everybody talks about, and nobody talked about this game. But I played it and I beat it. So, is it a hidden gem? I don't know. Was it probably really a great game? Probably not. I don't think so. But it was funner than hell, and I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna add it just because. A shout out. Go play yourself some Mystical Ninja Star and Goemon on the N64. And come back and report. Let me know. Is it actually a hidden gem? Is there something there to that game? Mm-hmm.
And on a similar note, go back even further in time to the SNES, the Super Nintendo, and play Legend of the Mystical Ninja with your buddy in co-op like I always did. So every time you mention that, it brings back the memories of us playing co-op and then getting to the fair and the festival with all the mini games and like double teaming bosses with our co-op action. So a great series, obviously, because 1 and 2 are great. I know there's like a million other ones, but again, doesn't feel like a hidden gem because my buddy and I played it all the time until we got sick of it. But man, there's so many others out there. What about you, Noble? What are your favorite hidden gem and cult classic video games? What about you out there, listeners? What are yours? What's your favorite hidden gem podcast segment? Is it Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner? Because that's what it's time for. If you remember last week's question from a day and a half ago for me and Eric, which 2010 Xbox 360 game by Remedy Entertainment is set in the small mountain town of Bright Falls? That, of course, is Alan Wake. Now here's a question that I don't like. I don't like this question. I wouldn't know this question.
No.
I'll give partial points for people who know certain aspects of the answer. What are the full names? So again, partial points if you at least know first names of the 3 playable characters from Grand Theft Auto 5.
I didn't play Grand Theft Auto 5.
Neither did I.
I stopped at whatever the San Andreas was. Damn it. I'm just guessing names. I mean, I have no idea. I literally don't. Except for I should, because I do recall like podcasts talking about these characters, but that's years ago. So
yeah.
And I remember one being a degenerate. Was it Ricky? Ricky, good old Ricky. He's a bad dude. Nate. I've never met a good Nate, so Nate's probably one of the guys.
That's fair.
And we'll go with Georgie, because Georgie's just the name of all the idiots, in the land. So Nate, Ricky, Georgie. What we got?
I think you're pretty close. No points though, because it's and
okay.
Probably was the only one I could have grabbed because he was the degenerate weirdo character that all the controversy was about.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know the answer to that question, or if you have more mailbag questions for us, anything, questions, comments, concerns, if you just want to say hi, hit us up on the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @thirdshiftme. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit up the Discord, hit up the Patreon. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream. If I'm home, don't come to my house, but wait for me to leave, and then you can like slip a note under my door, and I'll still be terrified, but at least I won't be in here when you do it. Do that.
You should do that, and you should head over to Patreon too. Throw a few bucks in. Hey, anything helps. Keeps the lights on. It's just a tip jar. If you think we did a good job, consider doing that. If you can't, that's fine too. You can head over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. Go over to Spotify, do the exact same thing there. Go over to Twitch, throw your Prime money our way. There's $5 every month that they give you to throw to anybody you like on there. And Matt was just on there the other day, so be sure to do that. If you can't do any of those things, you can go over to the Discord, join in, have some discussions, throw mailbag questions our way. There's a million ways to hang out and interact, and we appreciate all of them.
And we appreciate you listening to the very next episode, which is dropping on or around the 13th of November on iTunes and Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any of those good services, because it does help us out, and we really do appreciate it.
Indeed, we do appreciate it. Just like we appreciate those 5-star reviews. Get on there, folks. Thanksgiving is coming. I hear that turkey gobbling already. I can't wait to rip its spine out and lay it flat, so I'm spatchcocking that son of a gun, and that's what I'm going to do to you. I would, for Thanksgiving, be mindful and thankful, and we would be thankful if you could give us a beautiful, wonderful 5-star review. So consider doing that. It'd be great. It's the season.
And with that, there's nothing else to say but.
Don't forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.